Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. First of all, I want to welcome Bridget officially. She's our newest member. Everything's paid in full. She's officially on our roster now. And with that, I will turn it over to Margot Bittner, our inspiration this morning, to give us a couple of words this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Mr. Rogers said there are 3 ways to succeed in life. The first is to be kind. The second is to be kind. The third is to be kind. May we remember as Toastmasters, every word should be filled with kindness, but also use our listening skills that we develop here at Toastmasters to determine if somebody else needs maybe a little extra kindness today. Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Margot. And now I will stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And do we have any announcements this morning?
I do.
All right.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. A reminder that we have one more officers meeting at Maggie's this coming Tuesday. The November site has yet to be determined. So again, officer meeting and our Zoom team, if they're interested, for our officer meeting potluck. Dinner's at 6, meetings at 6, gavel down at 6:30 like last time, worked well. So great. And Mary was kind enough to share with me this morning, maybe some of you've heard this. Do you remember every Christmas how Jackie Kenny would sell poinsettias and wreaths for the Mental Health Association? Mary's friend works there and gave her an extra copy of the form. I think every holiday season we should continue that legacy of buying wreaths and poinsettias for our own homes, for the Mental Health Association fundraiser that's annual. So we'll be getting more copies of this. They're due by November 21st. It gives us just about a month to get those turned in. So if any, I'll bring back the extra copies of this next week. And Mary, as VP of PR, did you say you'll put it on our socials? Yeah, so she'll spread the news. So that's a great idea. I don't have any more announcements right now. Thank you, Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you, Kate. And with that, I will turn the meeting over to our Toastmasters this morning, Beth Banks, with the theme of fall vacations.
Good morning, everyone. Hopefully everyone could get in onto Zoom and we're okay. Little technical difficulties this morning. Should I be telling people who's here? Okay. All right. For people who are here this morning, Darcy Colby, Mark Campos, Lynn Thornton, myself, Beth Banks, Kate Orr, Mary Cavanero, Mike Licata, Bridget Newton, Steve Smith, Jill Roaring, Dave Licata, Maggie Craig, Mike Florio, Carol Halstead, Marty Johnson. On Zoom is Margot and Sylvia, and Sam is our guest. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, my theme this morning is fall vacations. In my family, we always went on a fall vacation. From the time I was very young, my parents were crazy enough to go to Letchworth and stay in a cabin when my youngest brother was still in diapers. And there was no bathroom in those original cabins. I don't really know how, or maybe why, my mother did that, but that began a tradition of going to Letchworth every fall, the long weekend, and they just added people, families on as we went along until we were finally almost taking over one of the campground areas. So I really have a soft spot in my heart for Letchworth State Park, where we love to go. Until they changed the way you made reservations for Letchworth State Park, and then we couldn't all get in. And so that really ended that tradition, which is really sad. We're going to go on this morning. I'm going to start with my general evaluator, Sylvia. Can you hear us, Sylvia?
I can hear you. You're loud and clear this morning. Good morning, everyone. As general evaluator, my job duties this morning is to evaluate the Toastmaster, Beth, and our three evaluators, and I'll do a report at the end.
Thank you very much. All right, and I do not see Nancy Ferry on or here. She is supposed to do the word of the day, so if anyone would like to do a word of the day, let me know. Otherwise, I'll come up with it when someone's doing something else. And we'll move on to our quote master, Jill Roaring. Thank you, Jill, for agreeing. Good.
Good morning. I found part of the, I'm assuming there's more to this poem than what I have here. But it's from William Cullen Bryant. When breezes are soft and skies are fair, I steal an hour from study and care, and hie me away to the woodland scene, where wanders the stream with the waters of green. Which really fits into Letchworth.
Thank you. Maybe I should just use the stool, right, Maggie? Oh, maybe there's a shorter stool. Yeah, I'll just let Steve come over. Steve is our jester this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I went looking for fall vacation jokes and I didn't find any. So I settled for fall jokes. I hope no one has any overripe produce to throw at me at this time of year. It's readily available. Speaking of which, what do you call a small pepper in late fall? A little chili. Why does Humpty Dumpty love autumn so much? Because he had a great fall. Why do birds fly south in the fall? Because it's easier than walking. What happens when winter arrives? Yes. Autumn leaves. And I'll finish up with this one. I saved the worst. Thank you, Dave. I saved the worst for last. What's worse than finding a worm in your apple? Bingo, finding half a worm.
I definitely agree with that one. Hey, you are standing anyway. You can come in and tell us what your job is for today.
I'm going to invite Bridget up because Maggie, her new mentor, advised her to, hey, you can do the word of the day. And so in some clubs, the grammarian also does the word of the day. But Bridget will be our word master and I will be the grammarian. As a grammarian, I'm listening for strong uses of language. It adds credibility to us as speakers. When we have a lot of restarts, when we have issues with language, when we have very long pauses, because we're thinking those are okay. It's better than adding filler words, and so I'll be counting, looking at the grammar, and I'll save the ahs for whoever is the ah master. Is there an ah master? Is there no ah master today? That's also me. It's okay. So I'll also count the ahs, ums, and so's. A little reversion back to the wag master that we used to do. Word for Marion. Bridget has a word, and do you want to share the word and what it means? And then she'll be tracking if we use it. All right.
Right. Good morning, everybody. So Maggie gave me a word that she had to tell me how to pronounce. The word is autumnal, of, relating to, or characteristic of autumn. The example would be the autumnal colors of the forest were breathtaking. Could also be suggestive of the later stages of life or decline, mellow, mature, or fading. She had an autumnal grace about her, calm and reflective. So we will tape the word up here, autumnal. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm waiting for the Toastmaster to come up. Bridget, this is for you as a new member. We're not supposed to leave this unguarded, unprotected. What's the term that we say? Guard the lectern. So now we shake her hand
Okay.
to pass it back. All right.
Yes, we're dancing now. And someone took my. Okay, Mark, you must be next because I don't know what I'm doing.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our guests. Good morning. I am the timer this morning. My job is to keep us on the straight and narrow time-wise. Table topics are 1 to 2 minutes with a 15-second buffer. Evaluations are 2 to 3 minutes with a 30-second buffer, and speeches are 5 to 7 minutes unless you tell me otherwise, Madam Toastmaster.
And before we go on to table topics, I will tell you about one particularly crazy autumnal moment when we were in Letchworth. We were all outside doing things, and a great wind came up, and all the leaves came down at the same time. And it was, what is happening? And that was it. However, it was a storm that went through across the lake, went through Alcott, went through Medina, and it toppled huge trees in Crow Park. I don't know if any of you remember that, but we went down afterwards to see the pictures, and there were root balls that people could stand in. That's how ferocious the storm was. By the time it got to Letchworth, it was just, let's blow all the leaves down. But it was a very dangerous storm. So Mary is our table topics master today. So she will be calling on a few people to have a little short speech. Okay. Thank you, Mary.
So, Sam, where is your favorite fall vacation? Sam, where is your favorite fall vacation?
Good morning. I wouldn't say that I have one favorite place, but we have a friend that has about over 100 acres in the southern tier. So this past weekend, we took our camper down there. They have an annual soup fest. So this was our second year participating in that. There was 12 different kinds of soup. We enjoy the autumnal weather and the autumnal colors down there. It's very scenic. There's a lot of four-wheeler and side-by-side rides, hanging out by the fire. My kids are outside running around on the property. There's a pond. They like to go hunting for frogs, and they tried to build a teepee with a bunch of big logs. They were all teaming up together, carrying the logs. They don't spend any time inside, which is great. So it's good for them. We enjoy it. Aside from going down to that property, we try to take a fall camping trip every year. So we've gone to Allegheny on another campground down there called High Banks. So fall camping and enjoying the autumnal season is a special, can't think of the word, tradition for my family. Thank you.
Dave, it's okay, Dave. So, Dave, you don't have a role, so I'm gonna call on you. What kind of weather do you prefer on a fall vacation?
Yeah, well.
You didn't have a role, so that's what you get.
Madam Table Topics Masters, fellow Toastmasters and guests, remember when Mary was so shy? I do. But it's an interesting question. My wife and I took a very memorable vacation once in October, and we were clever enough to go to New Zealand. So it was springtime would be my favorite weather in the fall, because that's the spring month down there. And I'm laughing because we're driving around New Zealand, and they use dollars and they use the same signs we do. So naturally, I had to hop out at the farmers markets, and there were the strawberries, and I sent it back to all my friends at the Batavia Farmers Market, and they got a kick out of that because it was the opposite season. So we stole that one. That was the year of two springs for 2 weeks. The weather in New Zealand was remarkable. To go a little travel log on in this situation, if you take a bag full of the scenery in Hawaii and you take a bag full of the scenery in New Zealand, you would walk over to a wastebasket. Forget Hawaii, you can't believe it. I don't know what it's like during the fall season, the autumnal colors in New Zealand, but the spring was outstanding. And we learned learned quite a bit, and went to these famous spots where the movie Endless Summer started. It was all about surfing, and my buddy said, "Well, that's where that started." And I was lucky enough to stay with my friend for 11 days. It was a 2 week vacation, 11 days in New Zealand. The rest were on the plane. That is a hell of a flight. And every time you landed, the meals would be the same, but the cheese, you leave America, you get cream cheese, but then you go somewhere else, and the cheeses were the only things that would change offhand. So thank you very much, ma'am, the formerly quiet Mary.
So, Maggie, what are some activities you must do on your fall vacation? I could have called on Eric, but I just saw you sitting there.
Maybe there's still time for Eric. Thank you,
I
ma'am.
mean, maybe not.
Good morning, Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, guests. So, what was the question? What are my favorite fall activities? Oh my goodness, my favorite fall activities. Pickling, 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 pickling. My God, I have never made so many pickles in my life. Does anybody like green tomato chow chow? If you haven't had it, it's an Amish thing. It's absolutely fantastic. I only have about 4,000 jars. You're welcome to come on over. Maybe bread and butter pickles. So I need a vacation, and I booked one yesterday. I am going to go to see my husband. It's conjugal visit. No, did I say that out loud? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Maggie. No, actually, I am going to see my husband for my vacation for our autumnal, as that's where we are in life and in season. We're going to be in Vancouver. I miss him very much. He left on July 1st. I think I have seen him once since he left. And he will be coming home with me. In fact, as a good wife, I'm just going there to pack. And actually, I also am going to hopefully go to the wrap party for the show he's been shooting. So he's been shooting a show for Disney, and it's called Trinity. If anybody wants to pay attention and track it, I think it's going to be very good. They've been shooting on submarines and on the ocean with Black Hawk helicopters. So I think it's going to be pretty exciting. That is what is happening for me in the fall. That is what has happened for me this fall. And I look forward to next fall when I plant less tomatoes, more cucumbers, and a spaghetti squash. Thank you.
Back to back. I'm not gonna call on Eric. You can do that later.
Thank you very much. Okay. One of the things that we did at Letchworth was go on hikes. Oh, sorry. Timer. Sorry. Timer. And then word. I was bad.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our guests. Good morning once again. The timer was a little slow on the trigger for our first participant. However, ballparking it, I had Sam at about 2 minutes. She qualified. Dave, the experienced Toastmaster, used every inch of his runway. 2 minutes, 14 seconds. Far be it for Dave to not use every second available to him to speak. And Maggie at 2:03, Madam Toastmaster.
And our word of the day. How did it do?
They did well, thank you. Do I have to say, anything other than just? Oh, okay, great. So everybody qualified. Sam, Dave, and Maggie, they all qualified. Thank you very much. And autumnal was used differently with Maggie. In addition to just using it in reference to the season, she used it with reference to her age. I would like to point that out. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. For those of you that are here, I don't know if you can see my computer, but one of the things we did at Letchworth was take hikes. They were not your normal hike because my mother was very creative. So it had to be a scavenger hunt hike. And she split everyone into groups and probably about 4 or 5 people. And there were things you had to find or do along the hike. And we went from, I think it was cabin area B at the time, although they've probably changed the letters because people do that, all the way to the Middle Falls. Along some of the trails like that, and we had to find all kinds of things. Each group was given different things to find. So it became quite an experience. And of course, there were always some people that were very competitive. And so they really wanted to get there first and make sure that they had all of their things in their packet. Because of course, she also gave them bags to hold things in. She was a very organized person. And then we would all come back and play touch football. So that was one of our fall autumnal activities was football. So moving along to our first speaker, who is Marty Johnson, who is going to be evaluated by Joe Budnack. So, Joe, can you come up and tell us about Marty's speech?
Marty's purpose statement is, the purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience, and his speech title is titled Leading the Blind. Thank you, Marty. When you're ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe, fellow Toastmasters. Have any of you ever had the chance to lead the blind? See a show of hands. Well, some of Maggie has. Great, awesome. Some of you may have remembered when I spoke about a trip. I went on a pilgrimage to Stockbridge, Massachusetts. Well, today I'm going to tell you about a few key takeaways from that experience. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, good morning. And I always like to shake out my luggage when I get home, so I'm going to do that this morning, and which leads me to some of the main points in a nice letter I received from the woman that put the trip on. And my four main takeaways are that this young man, I don't know if Sam was here or not, but I'll give you about a 30-second intro to lead up to today. What happened was I wanted to go on this pilgrimage through a church I belong to. And long story short, I contacted someone from Hamburg, and they said, all the seats are taken on the bus. I'm turning people away because it's the Jubilee year, and there's all kinds of groups coming to this a shrine in Massachusetts. And she had one seat left, but you have to be willing to lead this person that registered, and they're blind. So that's where we are today at this point in time. And the four main takeaways are that this man named Andrew, he's a funny guy. He's humorous. He's gregarious. He practices his faith, and he has a full-time job. Imagine that, being blind. And we start with humor. Every day we got up, we would share a room. So you can imagine sharing the room and bumping into each other and just sharing all kinds of funny guy stories. But when we got on the bus in the morning, he would kid around with the bus driver, and he was making fun of himself and opening an icebreaker, if you will, to other people. So we would get on the bus, and he goes, "Oh, I know where I'm going. I'm telling him we go up 4 steps, and then we go a couple more seats back." And he was on my shoulder like this. We were going. He had this walking stick. It was a grand time. And then he was also a little a flirt, if you will. He would hear a woman's voice, and he goes, "Now, who are you? I recognize your voice," because he lost his sight to blindness about 10 years ago. He lost his sight through diabetes about 10 years ago. So he remembers some of the people, and he recognized this woman's voice from other events that he must have been at. So Andrew is a very humorous guy. And the second main thing that I learned about him, he's very gregarious. When we would say, for example, go to lunch, we were walking into the restaurant, and he would hear someone. And they say when you lose one of your senses, your other senses gain that strength or that power. So he could hear people very, very well. And he could hear people that he sounded like he knew. And he said, "Well, can we sit here? Is anyone here?" And so we sat with some people that he thought that he recognized. And he had held a wonderful conversation with people. And one of the interesting things that he said, "Go ahead and ask me any question." People want to ask you questions. They want to learn about you. He goes, I've had all kinds of questions from all kinds of people. He goes, "Ask me a question." He goes, one of the most popular questions people ask him, he said, was, "How do you eat?" maybe a little messy when you're eating because you can't see what you're doing. But he says, with a knife and a fork and a spoon, just like you eat. He loved being around people, and I really enjoyed seeing that from someone with that was disabled and didn't have their sight. So he's very gregarious. And the third thing, which I knew I was going to see because we went on this pilgrimage to the shrine, and he practiced his faith. And not only at the shrine, but he practiced his faith in Hamburg, where he lives. He would help raise funds. Actually, for this event, they had all kinds of fundraisers and cookie and candy sales to help pay for the transportation of the bus and for other people that couldn't afford it, to help them afford to go on the trip. So he was very not only humorous and gregarious, he practiced his faith. And it was interesting to see him on the grounds in Stockbridge. He had some time for one-on-one conversation with some of the priests that were there. And it was very interesting to see. It was outdoors, actually, because it was a beautiful day and it was in an autumnal setting. And it was just a gorgeous day. And it was nice to see him have time. The priest gave him, actually, it was probably about a half hour time, just in a beautiful setting to have a one-on-one conversation with him. It was wonderful. And then the last thing that I found fairly interesting also is that he has a full-time job as a massage therapist. He went to school after he became blind to learn how to be a massage therapist. And getting back to his humor and his gregariousness, he told me, he said, Marty, he said, the people where I work at this facility in Buffalo, he said, they're afraid of me going up and down the stairs and they don't want to schedule me for clients on the second floor. And he goes, I'd travel up and down the stairs as a blind person better than some of the people that can see, and I can imagine that, but so it was a wonderful trip. And I just wanted to share with you this letter I got. This woman, her name is Donna, and she's from Lakeview, New York, and she's led the trip. This year was her 13th year, and she said, "Dear Martin, I am grateful that you took care of Andrew. You guys were funny. Please come back next year." And one last thought I wanted to share with you that'll stick in my mind forever. One night we were out having dinner, and then we had ice cream for dessert. And Donna, the trip leader, was walking around with a bottle of Hershey chocolate syrup, and somehow we found out that she had the syrup. And he said, "Donna, what are you going to do with that?" And she said, "Andrew, I'm going to spray you if you don't stop, if you don't behave." And he took that to all kinds of heights. But so that's my experience leading the blind, Madam Toastmaster. Thank you.
Oh my. He might be the tallest, right? Here, anyway, but yeah, and I probably am the shortest. Oh, well. Okay, moving along. Our next speaker will be Darcy Colby, and she's being evaluated by Mike Florio. Mike.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, our guests, and of course, Darcy. Darcy, this will be her second speech, the same one actually, in the series of the dynamic leadership. This project is feedback and evaluation. So she gets to do the speech the first time, gets evaluated, and then she gets a chance to improve on it. And there's a few things that I'll mention in my evaluation later that Darcy will be working on, and hopefully she'll learn from the beginning and and then work to try to improve on the next time out. So Darcy Colby, 5 stages of grief. Darcy Colby.
Thank you, Mr. Evaluator. An autumnal event that is seared into my mind forever is the passing of my father on October 10th, 2024, a little over a year ago, my father succumbed to cancer, colon cancer. He went along with his doctor's advice and stopped getting colonoscopies after age 70. And then at age 85, he was diagnosed with stage 4. A resection surgery was done where they remove a large part of the colon where the tumor was located. And then after a suitable time of recovery, the chemotherapy commenced. It was less than a year after the diagnosis, which was in January of 2024, that he passed. This morning, you're going to be my silent therapists as I walk through the 5 stages of grief and how I fit or don't fit into those stages. Perhaps it'll be therapeutic for me. Perhaps you will give me some feedback about your own grief. We all know someone that has cancer. We all have loved ones that have passed away. Perhaps you'll throw up your hands and say, you know what, she's crazy. In any event, it's pretty emotional for me to give this speech again. And it'll make for some good fodder, good speech fodder. According to the experts, there are 5 stages of grief. Stage 1 is denial. I'm very confused about this one because I didn't do any denying. There's no denying that my dad was in the hospital with a resection surgery at age 85. There's no denying I spent 2 weeks with him down in Florida after he got out of the hospital, giving him intravenous injections with no medical training whatsoever. There's no denying that he was in and out of the emergency room 4 times in the last few weeks before he passed. There's no denying he was in a lot of pain. There's no denying that when we made the decision to give him the good drugs that signaled the point of no return. There's no denying that I held his hand as he took his last breath. There's no denying that a lot of people came to the funeral home and where he was shown. There's no denying that his hands were cold as I touched them as he lay in the casket. There's no denying that the casket was suspended over the hole at the cemetery. To deny is to waste precious time. I live in the real world, and I didn't do any denying, so I guess I don't follow the rules. Stage 2 is anger. Of course I'm angry, of course. Of course I'm angry that my dad had to go through resection surgery at age 85. Of course I'm angry at the doctor who said, don't get colonoscopies after age 70, and there's no other way to detect colon cancer. Of course I'm angry that he had to suffer the effects of chemotherapy that we are told were helping. Of course I'm angry our healthcare system is so broken that instead of being sent to the emergency room after one test, he was sent to a nursing home. Of course I'm angry. How does this happen? Of course I'm angry, and it appears I still am. Stage 3 is bargaining. How do you bargain away cancer? I'd like to know. I didn't do any bargaining. We held tight to the plan of chemo that my dad chose. I wanted to take that bucket of chemo and throw it as far as I possibly could, but my dad chose the chemo route, so we supported him, and I stayed silent. We held tight to that the chemo was actually helping. We held tight to all the time that we could spend with him after this diagnosis, because we knew when you're 85 and you have stage 4 colon cancer, it's probably not going to be a long time before you're not in this world. So I didn't do any bargaining. Once again, I didn't follow the rules. Stage 4 is depression, and there's definitely no denying that I am there. I feel like I'm in a pinball machine, and I keep going back and forth between anger, depression, ding, 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 ding. I can't get out of this pinball machine. So, knowing that this is not good for me, I do certain things to counteract the depression that I feel. I walk an hour every day. As I'm singing my songs, you heard a whole speech about that. I pray to God to help me get through this because it's really hard. And I thought after about a year, I might be a lot better at handling this, and I'm not. I thank God every morning when I wake up and I open my eyes. I thank God. Thank God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for all the good things that you have brought in my life. I keep busy. I've always been a busy person, but now it's almost an obsession that I have to keep busy all the time. Anything to take my mind off of this sadness that I feel. Stage 5 is acceptance. Death is pretty final, and I don't think my dad's coming back to this world. I don't know anybody that has. It's a part of life. In fact, I recall my dad telling me, death is a part of life. You have to accept it. You have to move on. You have to plan accordingly. Plan your life accordingly. Death and taxes, that's the only thing that's for sure. My challenge to you, and mostly to myself, is to learn how to smile, learn how to laugh again. I need way more laughs and I need way less tears. And enjoy people, enjoy places, enjoy flowers. I spent so much time this past summer watering my flowers so I could have some beautiful things to look at. Thank you, God, for everything. Madam Toastmaster.
Okay. Our next speaker will be Mike Licata, who is being evaluated by Les Robinson, who I do see now is online. Les, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
And I will say the word of the day is autumnal. And Ava likes to hide in the leaves, and you think she's the fall. So let's introduce Mike Licata. I do not have Mike Licata's title, but I do know it's delivery social speeches. It's a first speech, 3 to 4 minutes. And it's out of the presentation mastery level, section 3.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mike, what is the title of your speech?
Always learning, right? I thought I put that on there. Didn't save it, right? I'll figure
I
it out.
thought it was on there.
I think that's fine. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Mr. Timer, before you start, I do want to encourage everyone in the room. We do have the ballots, and on the ballots, we can offer feedback to our speakers this morning. So I know, let me just get that out. We'll make sure when Darcy collects it, you can pass it out to our speakers. No, well, Darcy's speech was feedback, so it works out better. My speech is 3 to 4 minutes. That's true. Thank you. Thank you, Kate. We're good on time. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and our guests this morning. A big part of Toastmasters is mentorship. We have many experienced Toastmasters here at AM Lockport, many people that have been a part of this group, some since the beginning, some for over 20 years, and most of us have been here for more than 10. But I want to talk about another mentor in my life and somebody that has earned a lot of my praise, and that would be my mother. I'm always learning from her. She offers great advice. She also offers an example of how to be a better person. The thing that I found most interesting, one of the more interesting things about the relationship my mother and I had is she's been a medical technologist for almost 50 years. She works in labs at hospitals her entire life. She loves the job. She takes real pride in what she does because she's been doing it for so long, and she's only held 2 positions working in 2 different hospitals for her entire career. The funny humorous thing is I found growing up a lot of my friends and relatives decided to go into similar careers as their parents if they had tremendous examples as parents, whether it's different industries and things like that. That being said, growing up, I hated hospitals. I still do. They're not fun. I don't enjoy the experience, whether it's even something as simple as urgent care. I do remember growing up as a kid spending a day shredding paper at her job, and I found out much later in life that she did not shred paper. She did lab testing, and one of the things she did is when she used to start out and she used to do blood draws, you're around needles all the time, not something I was ever interested in. But she was also a great mentor because she shared her love of reading. She shared her love of books with me. And I find that it has helped shape my personality because I have become a voracious reader, whether it was books, whether it was a newspaper, to now it's morphed into online articles. It's about going and finding the information you find practical, whether it's in your professional life, whether it's in your personal life, or it's in part of your Toastmasters experience. She's always been a great example. I feel that she has done a tremendous job in terms of preparing both my brother and I for our lives. She is nearing her retirement age. She's not there yet. She's still trying to figure it out. I don't know when you turn 70, it's maybe you should consider it, but that's just my opinion. She works really hard. But one of the most exciting chapters I'm actually excited for her is to be a grandmother. My brother recently had their child. My parents are enjoying that new aspect of their life. My nephew is a very rewarding, very interesting person for only being around for a few months. But as a mentor, she's always helped me prepare for a lot of different things in life. She is a true role model, and I encourage all of us as Toastmasters to be encouraging the people in our lives. Make sure that the people that are new, people that have just joined, that is very important to understand that there are role models that we can learn from, we can take experiences from. And with that, I will turn it over to our Toastmaster, Beth. No, you're fine.
Thank you. Well, I'll give the evaluators a few minutes to do what they're supposed to do. Okay, let's do timer first so I don't, yeah. Good thing you come up because, yeah. Whoop.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our guest. All three speakers qualified. Marty at 7:20, a little help from the buffer. Darcy at 6:40, and Mike Licata, once again, a little help from the buffer at 4:16. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. After our vacations at Letchworth stopped because of their new reservation system, we decided we were going to the Finger Lakes. Those of you who are in the room can see we went to a place called the Viking, which is no longer there, and I believe the buildings have been demolished, but it was a great place. We like to go there. By going to the Finger Lakes, we also were then going a lot to visit my cousin and her husband there. So one of the nights, we felt that Kate was old enough to watch the other three. She was always in charge, even then. Melissa and Chuck and Phil and I went out for dinner across the lake, which, of course, as everyone knows, you can't go across the lake. You have to go around the lake if you're going to be driving somewhere. So we went to this nice dinner. Well, the Talladay curse hit us. What I mean by that is my father was never able to go to the Finger Lakes without it raining a lot. So we're over at this restaurant, and a huge thunder and lightning storm came up, which I love thunder and lightning storms. However, I did worry about my children. Okay, they're back at this room, and thunder and lightning, are they going to be okay? Well, I should have known they are our children. And Phil and I like thunderstorms. So they enjoyed the thunderstorm as much as we did. It was not the first or the last time in the Finger Lakes that we had a thunderstorm, but it was one of my most nerve-wracking, worrying about my children and what were they going to do at the Viking. They were fine. They were absolutely fine. Needn't have worried about them at all. Katie took charge, of course. It was great. Have we had other storms in the Finger Lakes in the fall? Seems to be an autumnal experience that anyone in the Talladay family has, because that is my maiden name. And yes, Dad passed it along to me. So now we'll move along to our first evaluator. Joe? Thank you. Oh. His stuff is still here. So, yeah. No, I totally agree. Oh, okay. So, Les, are you ready to evaluate?
Yes, I am.
We're going to go a little bit out of order. Is that all right with you?
No problem.
All righty. Then I will let you do your evaluation now. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you. Okay. Mike kind of caught me off guard when he talked about mentoring and he brought his mother up. I thought he was going to talk about his dad. That was a very interesting twist in the whole topic, and I enjoyed that. And then how he explained his mother and then shredding paper. I think we all have been taken to our parents' business, or somehow we've been brought someplace and our parents have given us busy jobs that we don't do anything at, not even close to what they did. So I could visualize myself when my dad took me to his place. Clarity, very great speech, very flowed, perfect, enjoyed it. That's what I like about Mike. The vocal variety, yet it has that tone that he just kept continuing going on with the speech, which it kept you engaged, it kept you interested, it brought all of it together. The eye contact, now looking where I was sitting to the group, looked like he had good eye contact with the group. Now, this was Mike's problem. Mike in the beginning was kind of using his hand gestures like this, and then he did the clutch. He was holding, and that is not, he kind of took away from the speech because now you were concentrating in on the middle of his chest with his hands. And then he went back to the gestures, and that brought the speech back out on there. He engaged the audience. I think it was a very engaging experience speech with, talking about his mother, about retirement. I kind of thought about it myself, when does everybody retire? That was kind of an interesting sidebar on that. So it made me visualize once again, and that's a good thing about a speech where you get immersed and get engaged into the speech where it works well. He had great comfort level. He enjoyed talking about the whole speech. And overall, it was a very interesting topic on there. I enjoyed it very much. Mike did a great job, and I enjoyed your speech and looking forward to your next one.
Thank you very much, Les, for doing things out of order a little. Now I believe we'll go to Joe. The evaluator and the speaker are both here now, so we will continue.
Marty, I want to thank you for a truly wonderful speech. As always, listening to a seasoned Toastmaster like yourself, you held our attention. Great gestures, great eye contact, but most importantly, a very, very inspirational speech you gave us. We got to know Andrew through you. And Andrew sounds like a very inspirational individual. He's blind, but to you, he's independent. And it's almost like we got to meet him through you. And I like how a lot of people, when they lose their sight or become disabled in some way, they sometimes will succumb to depression or sometimes lose the will to live, but not Andrew. He sounds like a very truly inspirational individual. It doesn't sound like there's anything disabled about him. He has a wonderful outlook on life. He sounds like he's a very talented, capable individual, and we could all learn a lot from him, from getting to know him. I want to get to know him. I want to meet him. You should have brought him here today. And he sounds like a truly wonderful person. It sounds to me like he kind of led you a little bit. He was kind of your leader a little bit. And the way you described him and the way that you talked about him, we all got to know him. If I have to say there was any room for improvement, show us pictures of your trip. Bring along some photographs. Bring us a picture of Andrew so we could get to know him even more. But I want to thank you once again for a wonderful, inspirational speech, for us getting to know Andrew. And he sounds like somebody we would all like to meet. And he sounds like he would be inspirational to a lot of us. Because, like I said, a lot of people, when they become disabled, sometimes they'll let it take advantage of them. But not him. It sounds to me like he embraces life as it happens and does not let anything stop him from living his life. We should all follow his example. And thank you, Marty, for letting us get to know him on your trip. Thanks a million. Good job.
Thank you. And finally, our third evaluator. We're going to do this. We are going to do this. Mike Florio.
Finally. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, I guess, and especially Darcy. I probably should have warned everybody a little bit here that this would be a powerful speech. It was the first time that Darcy gave it. It was a very powerful speech, and it was again, really. And Darcy held it together real well. So excellent job. You've come up the curve as a new Toastmaster. Outstanding, really. I feel, you've only been here a short period of time, a couple of months. I know you've been here before as a Toastmaster, but you're moving up the ladder very quickly, and I can tell you're very comfortable up here, very comfortable. And some of the things that we talked about that you wanted to work on were eye contact, vocal variety, and use of an outline, those three. And I could tell you still used your outline, but you didn't use it as much. You used that time to use your eye contact with the crowd, with the audience. And I think that helped you kind of slow down your speech a little bit, and then you had a chance to reach out and connect with people and get them to know just how you feel. I definitely feel like you still might be in the anger stage a little bit more than the depression stage, but you're doing the right things, right? You're taking a walk, you're praying to God, and you're reaching out for help, and you're doing things within your life to finally maybe accept it. Does everybody accept death fully? I don't know if they do. I mean, I've said it the last time I was up here that everybody uses this platform as a way to kind of get it out there. And I know everybody here has suffered loss, and ultimately we're all headed to the same place. So death and taxes, yes. I like to throw trash in there though, because I work in the recycling business, and everybody has trash too. So that kind of keeps money in my pocket. Anyway, I'm just kidding around, but it was a wonderful speech. And I feel like if your dad is gone, yes, physically, but he lives in your heart, and you have wonderful memories. And maybe next time we could see some of those memories in some of your other speeches where you could bring in photos or just chat about some of the times that you had. 85 years is a pretty good run. Madam Toastmaster.
Oh, my. Okay. Good thing he's on the job and really right there. Mark Campos. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, all three evaluators qualified this morning. Joe at 210, Mike at 254, and Les at 208. Madam Toastmaster.
A few years ago, my husband and I took a different vacation. We didn't go to the Finger Lakes. We went to Stowe, Vermont, which is a beautiful place. We very much enjoyed it. We splurged and we stayed at the Trapp Family Lodge. It was beautiful, had a great time. For the first time, I had Highland Coo beef. It was very good. Beautiful place to go, different times of the year. We went in the fall, it snowed. So be prepared that if you go to Stowe, Vermont, if you really want the autumnal feeling, you might want to go a little earlier in the fall, not later, unless you want the snow. Maybe you want the snow. That's fine. I'm not a skier in any way, shape, or form, but it was a beautiful place to go. So we're going to move along. We are doing ballots here, and I am assuming you've done them online already. So I believe that's it for our formal part of the meeting. And we have lots of reports to do. Let's do the word master. Oh, yes, because people have to use it. You're right. Okay, so Sylvia?
I am
Still
here.
all right. I will let you take over.
I thought maybe you might forget me.
Oh, no.
No, you weren't going
But
to do
I don't have my agenda in front of me, so that doesn't help. No, it's fine.
Beth, you had some hiccups this morning. You had to replace the word master today with Bridget, which worked out well. Who is your master, Beth? I wasn't sure who master was. The agenda said Marshall, but then you said Kate was going to do, or maybe Kate said she was going to do.
We didn't see Marshall in the beginning because of the technical difficulties, I think. So I apologize, Marshall, that you didn't really get to do your job. We'll get you again. Don't worry.
Okay. So like I said, with the little hiccups that you had, but the meeting ran pretty smooth. I like this theme. The fall, I'm ready for a fall vacation. I kind of missed my summer vacation now I'm ready for fall, maybe twice as long. And you use gestures, small gestures. I mean, you could use bigger gestures during the day. And the only thing is, I think I would have used the bench to stand up. I know I hate to do it myself because I'm afraid I'm going to fall backwards. And coordination, I have none. And that but it would bring you up a bit, and the mic kept on covering your whole face. It does with us short people. The three evaluators today, they did a great job. I'm going to start with Mike Florio. I think you had the hardest evaluation, somebody's emotions. You did come out at the beginning and explain the goals of Darcy's speech. That was nice. Darcy did use the word of the day at the beginning of her speech. So that is so tough to do, and I admire people who could do that. And Darcy, I love the death and taxes, like Mike said. And now trash, I got to throw in there. That's cute. Everything that is the most certain things. Uh, I think more emphasis on the eye contact because you had to use the notes, maybe the notes upwards a bit or something. So it kept you more focused. It's hard with, I know we were on Zoom this morning. I wasn't planning on, but I ended up being there. And I needed the eye contact more. Joe had a good sandwich approach and great. I was worried that he didn't have something to tell Marty how to enhance his speech. And then he snuck it in there, maybe brought photos of the tour or Andrew. That's a good suggestion. Les, I liked your speech, your evaluation too. I know Mike only talked to 3 to 4 minutes. It was a sandwich approach. And it's a funny thing because I tried evaluates to see if my evaluation is close to other people's. And I had the same thing with the hand clutch. It was a little distracting, but you started with the sandwich approach also, a positive with the hand clutch, and then you ended with a positive. And moms are important. Got to say that, they're the heart and soul of the family, in my opinion. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Sylvia. And yes, I do apologize for not doing the master. Kate and I sat and we figured out the roles. We missed a few. So then I went online to, okay, make sure we've got everything filled in. Saw master, went to transfer it over. My computer was not hooking up to our website very well in the last week. So some things got on here, some things did not. So I apologize for that. Sometimes I hate technology. That's just all. That's all. So Kate, could you give the grammarian report?
Marshall, you probably were on time. We'll say that you were on time. We were having technical issues here. Did you kind of track ahs and ums once you came on? I just wanted to give you the opportunity to share if you did. And if you didn't, did you want to talk about autumn and fall vacations was the theme today? Or both. We have time. You can talk about fall and if you kept track of ahs and ums. I tried to. What do you think, Marshall? Do you feel like sharing anything today?
Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, we are just into autumn with you cold. Last week was more than 33 degrees. It was very hot, but now it's about 20 degrees Celsius. Oh, can you hear me?
It's colder
Okay.
here, Marshall. It's cold and
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I like the autumnal feeling, and I like drink a cold Americano every day. Every day I have about 4 cups Americano coffee. I love that feeling. It makes me very excited. Maybe when I go to the US, I will very adapt to your lifestyle. Thank you. Go back to you.
Thank you, Marshall. You and me both. Too much coffee. When you visit us in America, Dave Licata will be your coffee guide. If you have not heard his coffee speeches yet, maybe we will hear again soon. Okay, I kept track as I could of ahs and ums. And in Rhetorical Roar, another club that Marty and Eric and I are in, sometimes they say, and other clubs do this too, they go through every single member who has spoken and they do this. Beth, more than 5. You're on the most, and that is natural. Sam, more than 5. Dave, none. Maggie, less than 5. Marty, less than 5. Darcy, none. Mike Licata, less than 5. Joe, less than 5. Mike Florio, less than 5. Maybe they do this better at Rhetorical Roar and just say less than 5 once and then list everybody who said less than 5. Less than 5. If you also spoke, I apologize. I think that's all I kept track of. So you must not have also. That means, Mark, I didn't hear any impressive since you came up 3 times. Sylvia, I haven't heard any yet. As far as language for grammarian, again, from another club I visited, this format. Many of you have heard this before. I'll go through our weaknesses and our strengths. This is what I heard, not calling out anyone in specifically, anyone in specific. Goodness gracious, Miss Grammarian today. This is what I heard. The word of the day wasn't autumnal, it was gonna. Stop with the drop G's, folks. Going. It's going. It's not gonna. Gonna, you know. Gonna, you know. Gotta, yeah. Gonna, and gotta. It's a lot. We'll work on that. But I did hear, however, I heard gregarious, pilgrimage, shrine, tremendous, commend. Some other language that keep it going. It's beautiful autumnal weather. It's gray. We can still make it and enjoy it. So I will hand it back to Madam Toastmaster of the day. Great work.
And like, okay, and word of the day, right? Yes. All right, and we will do our final report from our word of the day. Master? We tried to give everyone a chance. So we tried to do word of the day last so that if there's someone who sneaks that in at the end, we can do that.
Toastmaster. So the word of the day, autumnal, and Kate, I will commend you for this, to kind of draw attention to this. That was very smart. So pretty much everybody used the word except for some of the evaluators, which that's okay. I did, like I said, appreciated Maggie using it in a different way for both of the definitions, and I think that's it. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Can I come back up?
Yes, please.
I'm sorry, and also not sorry, hijacking. Mary pointed out that I had less than 5, but not none. Thank you for your honesty. And Bridget, you also had less than 5 that I counted.
Okay, you might as well stay up here. I need help. So our winners for today for table topics. Sam. So. Great job. Thank you. And our evaluator, best evaluator for today is Mike Florio. And our best speaker for today is Darcy. All right, if you stay up and draw our 50-50 winner. And the winner for the day, the last 3 numbers are 049. Of course. And Dave is the winner. Do I have any announcements today? Joe, come on up.
I'd like to present this to everyone. Our Distinguished Club 2004 to 2005. Very good. Yes. 2024 to 2025. That would have been a long time, wouldn't it? It'd be nice if we could be that long, distinguished, but yeah. So thank you, Eric.
Oh, thank you.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Want to say something real quick?
Of course.
Yes. Oh, I'm going to mention that right now. For the guests in the room, I'm Eric. I'm the immediate past president. And like I said, with our president Joe said, we have our distinguished club. So congratulations. I want to thank my incredible team from last year, Beth, Kate, Mary, Les, Marty, Carol Ann, who's not here, and Mike. So, but thank you all. This is, yes, Marty.
Just briefly describe or explain what the Distinguished Club program is.
Why don't you come up, Marty? Okay, you describe it.
The Distinguished Club program is a program by Toastmasters International. It's our educational program. And what it is, it's a set of 10 goals, and every member plays a key role in us achieving it. And it's a combination of the speeches that we give. It's a combination of membership. It's a combination of the paperwork that's done by the secretary and the treasurer. And what am I missing?
Officer training.
And attending officer training twice a year. There are 10 goals, and we achieved at least 5 of the 10 goals over the last program year. So thank you, Eric.
Thank you very much.
And I'm turning control of the meeting over to
Jill for an announcement.
Jill. I didn't mean to jump in front of you, Jill.
Oh yeah, and Joe is our president, our club president here for this year. So, Joe?
Okay. Halloween is coming. Yeah. And as we all know, Halloween is Steve and my favorite. Okay. No. Okay, the newest folks don't know. Steve and I go a little nuts. A lot nuts. We're having our party this Saturday, but it's going to be very low key because the fact that with my back, we did not get the decorating done as fast as possible. So the decorating won't be done for this Saturday. We expect it will be done for next Thursday, which is Beggar's Night, which will be kind of having a repeat of the party. And I decided that I better announce this today because people might have made their plans for next Thursday night. And by Thursday morning. So Thursday night, you're all welcome to come to our home and see our extravaganza. Or if you want to come Halloween night itself, you're welcome then too. So that's my announcement. In Wilson, across from Brownies, if you're familiar with that, we're right near the harbor on Route 18. My actual address is 173 Harbor Street. So, yeah. I think they can see it from space.
Thank you, Joe. I do really recommend going to their house. They do a tremendous job every year. Yeah, because the ribbons. Are there any other announcements then?
Mike, if I could.
Go ahead, Margot.
So Marty mentioned in his speech he doesn't know how blind people eat. As most of you know, I'm in Lions, and I did send an email to the club, but on March 4th, 2026, we are doing a dining in the dark. Ray from the Visually Impaired Association will be down to guide us as we put on blindfolds and eat our dinner, our salad, our main course, and our dessert. It is open to anyone who wants to experience that kind of thing. We will have Lions from all over. It will be at the Barker Fire Hall. Contact me for more information, but it's a very unique experience. I've done it a couple of times, and it really opens your eyes to how other people live. So if you'd like more information on dining in the dark, let me know.
Thank you, Margo, and I will bring up Eric for one more announcement.
Yeah. Did anybody mention, since I came in late, about next Saturday? Okay. Yes. I am the Area 11 director, and next week is the division contest, and also, Kate, help me remind me, what was next Saturday? I know November 1st, but we're at Robert Wesleyan University for, it's the Center 22nd. Okay. Just November 1st, division contest. Maggie is going to be representing our club. And we still need more role holders. So please contact me or John O'Hara, our Division A director. And first, I want to congratulate Beth on her and Phil's distinguished alumni for Newfane. So we want to congratulate her. So 2 people in our club got distinguished alumni for respective schools. So this year. So anyway, Mike, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. One last thing, I do have a card for David Jones. If anybody didn't sign it last week, they're more than welcome to sign it this week. And then I will get it off to Charlotte at some point today or tomorrow. So I have that if anybody signed it. Because he unfortunately lost his father a couple weeks ago. So we want to make sure we're thinking of him. Anything else this morning? Toastmaster next week is Dave Licata. Check your emails when I get sent out, and then I will close the meeting.